What is going on, everybody? Once again, I am Mr. Solar Man 504, aka Demar Alvarez, coming at you live and in living color, ladies and gentlemen. So, today we are talking about understanding the mission. This mission, if you choose to accept it. And anything that you choose to do, um, it is your responsibility, honestly, to see it through. Um, and it is unequivocally going to be yours. And that is, that is naturally how that goes. It is your duty, it is your honor to go forth and make whatever it is, your dreams, your goals, your dreams, your goals, your happiness, and all of that good stuff, and everything else in between. There's a new slang going out saying that, look, they understood the mission. No matter, like, they understood the mission. So you going forth, understanding that mission, that says that you understand what you're getting, what you're naturally getting yourself into, moving forward with the abilities and the guidance and everything that you have, maybe spiritually and your mindset and your purpose, and you're going forth to whatever it is that you're trying to do. This is what you signed up for, and that's the thing that's going to keep pushing you to say, like, we're not going to quit, we're not going to give up. I have to see this thing through, because sometimes for a lot of people there's a plan A, there is no plan B, there is no going back, seriously. So what are you going to, I mean, honestly, what are you going to be going back to? If you sit down and naturally, if you sit down and think about it, do you, as you contemplate, going through your daily life, well, going back to naturally how it used to be, when you have this thing that's naturally inside of you, that's pushing you forward to go somewhere bigger, bolder, better. You have this amazing purpose that is inside of you. And what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, on TikTok? I am Mr. Solar Man. Today we are talking about understanding the mission. And please share this out, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and please subscribe. So, the main thing is that there is, there is no quit inside of you. Of course, you're going to have your days where of course, you're going to have those days where you're down and you're really like, man, do I really, whatever that may be, you're in school, and or it's a new job, it's a new relationship. For you, it's a new day. For you, you're surrounded, you're in a category of moving forward to greatness, and this is what you want. This is what you wanted. You have to remember what it is that made you do that in the first place, and you have to let that grow with you. You got to let that grow inside of you, because again, they have them days where you just like, man, I didn't think it was gonna you may tell yourself, I didn't think that it was gonna look like this, or I didn't think that I was gonna feel like this, naturally going through that process. And that's the thing, when you're going through the process, um what is that feeling like? What lessons are you naturally learning? And when I go live, I just come up with a topic, and I just naturally, when I go live, I just come up with a topic, and I just naturally go for it. As I mean, because I know sometimes somebody, it could be one person, somebody out there may be going through something, and what that old saying, the old saying, you gotta go through something to get to something, really, truly, seriously, that is that That is that main thing that is in your purposeful journey, taking it one step at a time. And again, let's see. Oh, cool. Yes, and again, we are talking about understanding the mission. And with that, it is purposely, you've been purposely placed in certain situations so that you can naturally see it through. This is for you. This is the undertaking of your life. This is the change that this is the change that you naturally want to see. And maybe a lot of people underestimated you in your journey. A lot of people make certain choices or decisions maybe based on what the options that society gives them. Maybe for you, you good morning. What's that? The calm. Good morning, the calm TikTok. Good morning. It is the nefarious calm. Yeah, it is. And yesterday, where I live, there was a tornado that came through. I mean, I felt outside. It was raining, like it rained really hard. The wind was howling really hard. But man, you never know how protected you are, because a lot of people, they had damage in neighborhoods. Their houses were really messed up. And when I checked the news this morning, somebody texted me. They're like, "Hey, there was a tornado," and I know that I knew something was different because the rain came down like super 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 hard. I mean, I fell asleep, but like I really, continue. I am the calm. Yes, that is very true. Yes, you are the calm through the storm. And it's interesting that when storms happen around you, how at peace you could be. Because when I tell you I slept, and I just went straight to sleep, and I slept like a baby, like I really did. Man, it kind of reminds me in the Bible where Jesus was walking on the water, and he said, Peter, come out to me, and uh, Peter jumped out and started sinking, and hey, Jesus had to pick him up, say, "Ye of little faith." So, begging my faith was very high yesterday for me to just fall asleep, and we have to know that things for this year are going to be, in order. They're going to be in order with the steps that you're taking in your life. And but the important thing you got to ask yourself is that what steps are you taking in your life? What are you willing to do? What don't concern, and if you can help it, don't concern and focus yourself with what's going on over on somebody else's fence. Because that's not your problem. That's not your issue. That's not your mission. You have to understand that you have other things that you have to do. Maybe around whatever time you're supposed to be sitting down studying. Maybe you're supposed to be working on your working on your business plan. You're not just going to your whatever it is that you do for a living. You're not just going there to pay your bills. You don't want to be just, if you want to just be one of those people that just goes to work and do your job and go home, and that's you, cool. But there are other people out here that really and truly get it, that really truly understand it, and that just say, hey, this is just a place of work. I'm just doing this for the meantime so I could fuel the other things I have going on. That's how it works. A lot of us aren't naturally born with a silver spoon, and it would be beautiful if we were born with, if a lot of us just had money. Seriously, like if we had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank right now, or if you had like, I mean, if you had a few million in the bank, if you were just born with it like that, a lot of us are rich spiritually. We are, and with that, you can call a lot of that stuff into existence, but it's this stuff that you have to go through. The strong survive and the wise excel. Say that again. See if anybody's saying anything with the chat. Nope. So again, the strong survive, but the wise excel. You got to claim your purpose. You got to claim your destiny, but you have to be smart. You have to be smart while you're going through it. When I was working at a certain place, and it just seemed like it was just chaos around me, and I was telling people about it on the job. And when you have the spiritual insight, and you have these gifts, you can see beyond things. You can feel stuff, and I knew what it was, and I would tell them, and I would say, they were like, "Oh, you're just paranoid," blah blah blah, and until whatever, until they see it for themselves, and that's kind of like the world that we live in. People don't naturally get it until they people don't naturally get it and understand it until they go through it themselves. And by that time, when they go through it themselves, man, it hits them, and it affects them differently. Then they're saying, like, I understand, what you were saying. You always, when you're when you're the one that thinks outside of the box, you're the one that, you're the one that's like thinking about these conspiracy theories and all of that. They're like, "Oh, you're just crazy," and blah blah blah. They're just clocking in every day, and they have no idea what's going on in the greater scheme of things. But when you understand the mission, you get it. You're privy to when you're, let's just say, when you're tapped in spiritually, you get it. You have understanding, and you have a greater understanding of your purpose and who you are. You could be the person on the side of the street or on the block telling everybody, whatever, and they're just walking every day, going about their business and whatever, and then one day, boom, they see you. They see you just doing these extraordinary things. They see you going viral on the internet and whatever, because most people, they just follow like this straight line, and that's okay. Everybody's life is going to be different. I'm not judging. I'm just here talking to people who have a purpose and who have a greater understanding, who may just naturally an encouraging word. And I am Damon Alvarez. I am your spiritual consultant, ladies and gentlemen. And if you'd like to book a session with yours truly, just go to my LinkedIn and and do that, or email me. We'll talk. But the important thing is that you stay on course no matter what. Even if some things are just foreshadowing, there are things that happen naturally in your life that you're going to feel, that you're going to, it's like this shirt says, I think it says, like, have no fear. I don't know if y'all can see it, but anyway, it's like, it's like no fear. It's like the things, the atmosphere around you, it's like the atmosphere around you has changed, so you've got choices, you've got options, but some things you can only, the mindset is just to go forward, to focus, to conquer, to go higher, to continue to go higher, no matter what. I'm not, not giving in this year, not throwing in the towel. Because there are things that I told myself that I wanted and that was going to happen. So I remember, like Dick Gregory said, he said that, if you told yourself last year that this year you were going to France or something, just go travel somewhere, and you say, like, I don't think that that's going to happen. So you just told a trillion cells in your body that it's not going to happen. So guess what? You're gonna come a point in the year, you're gonna think about it. You may think back to be like, man, you know what? I did say that that wasn't gonna happen, and when when you have everything that you need and you could have just gone ahead and planned accordingly and taken that trip. So, but this trip that you're taking is to take yourself to a greater purpose, to a greater understanding, to catapult yourself to where you naturally where you need to go, and where you need to go, and where you want to go. Because people out there need whatever it is that that you have. You may be that one shining spot on a job that's making somebody not go crazy, quit the job. People, I don't know. There's all kind of stuff going on out here, but you may be that one shining light. And I've been around people like that, man. It's like you like going to work because they make it, they make it fun. Y'all are laughing and clowning, and day goes by so fast. Something happens, they leave. Job is not the same anymore. If they're that supervisor, that cool coworker, they're moving on to something greater. Then it's like the domino effect. And if you stay there, cool, but whatever. But I've seen it time and time again, where certain people just, they leave and they have to go and do something else. I've been on jobs where they promise you so much. They're like, oh, you're gonna do this and this is gonna happen and blah blah blah. And 6 months you're looking like, well, man, I thought they said this and they said that. But the greatest thing is now is that you have you have so much more power and this greater understanding and this greater alignment that is foretold and that is within your life, and that you can implement, that is greater than that place of whatever you want to call it, and those people that are just passing by. And like I always say this: if I left this job there tomorrow, I'm probably not ever going to see any of these people there. And that's every time I say that, it's a home run, because I never I never ever see those people ever again. So it's just it's just what it is. But this is a very purposeful full circle year for you, and not just zeroing in on this year, but this year and beyond. So understanding your mission, understanding what it is you're that you're working towards. That's another important thing. Putting action towards it. Speaking into existence is great. Praying about it is great. If you're reading your Bible, your Torah, your Holy Quran, or whatever it is that you believe in, that's putting that. But you have to understand the power of those words when you're reading them and you're implementing them in your life. These are very ancient texts that you're that you're reading over to gain some kind of understanding for whatever it is that you're doing. To speak those words is to speak greatness and purpose into your life, and to have a greater understanding. So you can go out there and lie to everybody else in the world, but you cannot be lied to yourself. Misery loves company. And sometimes we have to, that old song, you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Be mindful of the company that you're keeping. Even if you're keeping your own company and you're like wallowing in misery for whatever, you gotta get up, you gotta get moving, and I get it, man. Say, soul of a man, you don't get it, man. You don't, I made mistakes. Look, I made mistakes too. A lot of people are going to come on the internet and say that they're not perfect. I am not perfect. I am not. Not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. I understand that. I own that. That's cool. But for those people who, who will like to see this face and hear this voice, and um, I'm thankful and I'm grateful, and that's all. That's all that. It's all for the soul nation that's out there. And believe you me, they are out there. And whatever it is that you want and that you're looking for, it's out there. And now it's not a time to panic. It's not. It's still early in the year. For me, I've a moment of clarity. Like I've been homeless, and I've gained, I've lost, I've gained, I've lost, and I've gained. I've gained so much. I've gained so much again, and that's the that's. But the final one of the finite and final conclusions of it is that um, I don't give up. Because there are just too many people that I maybe don't know out there that may be counting on me. And so if I'm not, you're one of these people that's chosen, and you got to break these generational curses. What did that guy say in that movie? One thing about bad habits: either you're going to break them, or they're going to break you. So, and I refuse to, I refuse to be broken. So, but I'm breaking up with, mediocrity. So sometimes, when you're going through these breakups, it's not always a bad thing, because I'm breaking up with mediocrity and frustration, and all of these things. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about this year: you never quite know until you do something. Maybe something is saying like, "Man, maybe I should turn this resignation," and then something tells you to keep it to yourself, but you go tell your coworkers, and everybody talks you out of it, and you stay there a little while longer. You're a little bit more miserable. You're still not getting the raises. You're still being overlooked. But then you come to the realization, you're like, you know what? I'm out. Seriously. And you have to remember, this is your path. This is naturally what it is, and I should say my name correctly. The calm TikTok. Okay. Yes. So if you're new watching me, please follow, and please subscribe, and please share this out. But be earnest in your decision making. Be wise within. Be earnest in your decision making. Be wise. The time for you to rise is now. The time for you to rise is now. If you continue, if you're putting the work in, if you're doing, everything is. This is going to be a year where everything is going to feel very surreal in the sense, the news that you see, how you feel about certain things. Everything is going to continue to feel everything is going to continue to feel heightened. I've only been on here for a few minutes, but I feel like I've been on here for like a few hours. Seriously, man. But let let that joy continue to be in your heart. No matter what it is that you're doing, if you're loving it, it is going to love you. That's called being. It's called being passionate. Very few people are passionate about what they do. And that's why so many people are just miserable. and they need certain things to take them away from what it is that they're doing. But again, you can ultimately make the decision or decisions to to change your you could to naturally change your life. Do I know everything about every no, I don't. I'm like you. I'm still a student. I'm even though certain things I've been doing for a while, I'm still very much a student, and I learn and grow, as I go along, and that's going to naturally continue to happen. So, and in that I am, and in that I am thankful, and in that I am, and in that I am thankful, and in that I am very grateful. But again, whatever it is, if you believe in, like I tell people, if you believe in nothing else out there, shit, just believe in yourself. Seriously, point blank, period. Because if you don't, probably nobody else will. That's where generally that's where it starts. It starts with you. Seriously, as a man, as a woman, looking yourself in a mirror and saying, and what can I do better in my life? Am I truly happy? Is this it? There was a point in my life where probably like in my 20s, I was just, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I was just chasing women, literally. I think that was my 20s, like going to college and just chasing women, and when knowing that I should have probably been chasing other things, but now I have a better understanding of what it is out here. Like somebody told me a long time ago, is women aren't going anywhere. They're not. How many people you see talking about men versus women relationships, passport bros. you know, uh, these conversations, the Kevin Samuels of when he was around, these conversations aren't where they're going to be here long after we're gone. But the beautiful part about it is that, you know, you can put in the work now. You want to start investing in yourself, going to the gym. You want to pick up your finances. You know, you can research pretty much, you can read pretty much anything on the internet. YouTube University, man, So, but the main thing is that if you put in the work now, you'll realize how much better off you are. For me, this spiritual journey it's very it's solitary. It really is. Like if I yeah, I've got God, I've got my ancestors, my angel guides, but that's more primordial, that's more spiritual. But in the physical sense, a lot of this, most of it, well, yeah, most of it is on me. So, yep, somebody said so true. So, most of it is on me, and I like to listen to other people's stories, their journey for inspiration. But you can inspire yourself, because you are amazing. If nobody ever told you that, you are amazing, and all of the things that you do, because you got to realize, can't nobody out there do that. Like they say, how do you do that voodoo that you do? Because the only person that can do it like you do is you. Just know that everything that you've been through, uh, so far, stranger than fiction, is very true. That you haven't lost your mind yet. You haven't lost your mind yet. And as as a Afro-Indigenous man living in the Americas, I question that. Like, why haven't I lost my mind? Based on all of the things that I see, all of the stuff that my people are going through. But I look at them and say, like, hey, they are survivors. We're still here for a reason. We've got to, there, yes, there's a lot of BS that we have to go through. You can, you have the option of, yeah, I see some people leaving the country and just becoming expats, just traveling the world. So you have options. And one thing I'll say about those, those passport bills is that we, as I'll just say for Black men, we are loved. We are loved all around the world. Even though we may not get it here. I'm just saying, like in America, may not get it here, but we are so loved around the world. The music, the culture. When I hear other people, talking negatively about it or us, that to me that just comes out in jealousy and frustration because of the stuff that they've been through, that they weren't able to uplift themselves and create something in a in a negative environment, so to speak, an environment that wasn't naturally made for them in the first place. But we are very great at building stuff in our environment out of nothing and just creating stuff just like that, and just making it, just making it all make sense. May not get the credit for it, but we can do it. We can do it, and we can do it. Start with what I would tell you this year. Think globally, seriously. Think whatever it is that you're trying to do, and feel like you've been through a lot. Just be mature. Just know that you are mature in your journey, and just continue to flow. I remember that movie, The Last Dragon, when he said, you got that glow. Remember Bruce Lee? I don't know, so y'all age, but like Bruce Leroy, when he went Super Saiyan and he started to glow, he was the last dragon. You got that. You got that same energy, man, inside of you. So use it. You use it. Tap into it. Cultivate it. Call it with your your fullest and your highest intentions, as you're going through the day. If you tell yourself it's going to be a good or a great day, probably is going to be. But if you get up with that kind of that mentality of the if you get up with that mentality of the oh woe is me, then so shall it be. But yeah, not saying that it's all perfect and smiles and sunshine and things aren't gonna happen, and that's life. We deal with it the best we can, seriously. And our and it's, for us as men, it's not easy for us to be emotional, especially around other people. Because we all know the stigmas that go with that. We don't need to get into that, but that's why, as I always said, men, men cry alone in the dark, and just man up, get over it, keep pushing and all of that stuff. But you have other power. You've got other power. You've got a higher calling. It's just that for me, I know that I don't like to be boxed into certain places, because my ancestors didn't like to be boxed in and doing stuff for free. That's why I don't like that either. So but yeah. But hey, folks, I think I have talked on here enough. I don't know. I always say I'll try to come back on here a little later on tonight. If I'm feeling it, I will. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you'd like to book a session, go to my link tree, email me, or go to my booking page, and we'll talk. But as always, folks, Mr. Solo Man, and I'm also an author, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go to go to my link tree. You'll see all my stuff. Go to my website, get one of my books and all of that good stuff. But all right, folks, as always, Mr. Soul Lover Man 504. As always, a Mother's Peace. I will catch y'all on the flip. I go live randomly, y'all. So follow me, as I continue this this very interesting, purposeful, amazing journey. And as always, folks, a Mother's Peace. Peace.